Hey guys, BadInfos here, and this is GTA Vice City Stories. You might think that you know everything about the game. Well, think again, because there are many hidden secrets scattered around the whole map, which aren't that visible even after hundreds of hours of playtime. That's why I'm here. I'll show you 10 things you didn't know about GTA Vice City Stories. Am I wrong? Do you know everything on the list? Fine, dislike the video, but if I taught you something new, make sure you leave a like. So, let's begin. Number 10. GTA Vice City takes place in 1986 and Vice City Stories in 1984, only 2 years before. You might remember how in my 10 things you didn't know about Vice City video I showed you this literal Easter egg. Well, in Vice City Stories at the same location you can actually see how the Easter egg is being built. And that's because the game takes place 2 years before Vice City. Speaking of Easter eggs, however, you may have seen these random smiley faces before. Well, did you know that in the PSP version you can find 10 of them, and they're even mentioned on this sign next to the Hyman Memorial Stadium. As you can see, on the PSP version the number is 10, and on the PS2 version it is 11, and the 11th one is where my showcase began, next to the helipad on the mainland. And these are the rest of the locations. Also, speaking of smiley faces, there's an extra one underneath the ship. It's very difficult to get to, and the sign on the PSP version reads, "Nothing to see here." The same sign on the PS2 version reads, "I wasn't joking, there really is nothing to see here. Go and look at the VCN building instead," which obviously is referring to the literal Easter egg I mentioned before. Number 9. I often get comments on my videos discussing the red balloons in the game. Often people tell me that Rockstar made an error and that they missed a balloon since previously all collectibles were either 100 or 50 in the previous GTA games. Well, in Vice City Stories we only have 99. What gives? The answer is not that interesting, I'm afraid. They didn't miss any, it's just a reference to a hit song from the 80s by Nena called 99 Luftballons, which, fun fact, is also featured in the Wave 103 radio station in Vice City. Number 8. GTA Vice City Stories got many changes from its beta days. The protagonist Vic in Vice City looked completely different, as you probably know. Well, when originally designing VCS, the developers kept his original look. He unfortunately didn't fit well and I guess looked goofy, so later on they changed his appearance. He once had a tattoo, a different haircut, clothes and face. His stupid little mustache from the beta still gives me the creeps, yuck. Other characters also had texture changes like Forbes and Luis, but unfortunately we don't have much proof and information about them. A few weapons were cut from the game, some even to me sound ridiculous, one of which is a landmine. I mean, really, a landmine in a GTA game? That sounds off. Good on them for removing it. The other weapon is a tear gas. Look at it, it's still here in ammunition, but we cannot buy it. This weapon can be found in San Andreas and the first version of Vice City on the PS2. That weapon caused major lag, so I understand why it was cut from VCS. Another weapon is the cell phone. Instead of the regular pager, we could use a cell phone in VCS. All the ones I mentioned so far have in-game files like textures and models. Like all GTA games, a few missions were cut in development. Unfortunately, we don't have much information about names or how they would play out, but supposedly they were from Lance, Luis, Forbes, the Mendes brothers and Gonzalez. Unfortunately, I can provide proof for only one of them, and that is this voice clip from Lance.
I am a genius! Man, I gotta buy a for Coke!
What Coke? Ma stole it all.
We got a Coke substitute!
Coke substitute. And what the hell is it?
Watch and learn, brother! Come on! We're too late! They put it on the walls already!
Put it on the walls? Wall plaster is your cocaine substitute?
They never know! Come on! Smash it off the walls, we can still make this deal!
If you've played the entirety of VCS, you would know that these lines never appear in the game, therefore they were cut in development. If you have ever wondered what's the deal with this hot dog trailer and why it's standing right next to the beach, well, supposedly Leo Teal was gonna give you missions here in the beta. Leo was the guy you kill in Vice City as Tommy and take his phone. A few more very minor things were changed up, but it will take me forever to list them all, and we only have so much time in this video. Let's move on to number 7. You are probably familiar with the empire building side mission. In short, Vic can take over rival businesses and make them his own. Upon taking one, however, these pesky rival gangs would usually go after the ones you have already acquired. Well, did you know that you can prevent that? What you need to do is, after taking over a business and building something over it, just go and save your game. Visit your safe house, exit the game, reload it, and what do you know? The rival gang is no longer attacking you. You won't fear for your life and you are safe. Number 6. In GTA Vice City, when you start off the game, you're only able to roam around in the Vice City Beach area and Prawn Island. In Vice City Stories, however, that is switched. Here you start off in the other islands and only have access to Starfish Island instead. Or do you? Like in Vice City with the bridges exploits, which are many, as you can see, in VCS we also have a few tricks that you can use to traverse the islands at the beginning. The simplest one is to take a BMX, reach DS's mansion, hug the wall and accelerate with your bicycle. You can go all the way alongside the bridge and reach the second big island. Going back is very easy because helicopters spawn on Vice City Beach. Simply take one and fly to Prawn Island or even go back to save your game. Number 5. Much like in Vice City, in this game there are many movie, music, politics and history references. Since you play in the same city, many references remain the same as before. However, we have a few new ones which I would like to showcase. Like for instance Brian Forbes. Does he look familiar? Well, he should if you have ever watched Miami Vice before. Both Sonny Crockett and Brian have the same outfits. Philip Thomas, who plays as Rico in Miami Vice, is the voice actor for Lance Vance. For more references, of course, you can watch my 10 things you didn't know about GTA Vice City video. I showcased a bunch more in that one. Number 4. If you're like me, for years you would have probably wanted to fly these huge planes yourselves. We have them in GTA 3, in Vice City, San Andreas, LCS and VCS. Well, did you know that out of all of these, we can actually fly them but in VCS? The setup is pretty tricky and here is how to do it. Get yourself a helicopter and stay on the runway, not too high from the ground. Once the plane approaches, simply jump off. Waiting for the plane could take forever, and jumping off from the heli at the wrong moment would make you repeat the waiting process. So take your time and aim correctly. Once you are on top, simply walk over to where the wings begin and try to enter it. You get a bit of damage, but you do get into the plane. Unfortunately, you cannot control where you go, but you can pretend to be the pilot. Number 3. Vice City Stories is a pretty glitchy game in my experience, and it's probably the buggiest one of them all. It has crashed a few times before, invisible walls have popped up from nowhere making me crash my helicopter and fall in the water, the traffic would disappear if you deliver too many vehicles to the impound, and many more. I'll highlight two pretty interesting ones to me. The first one is the upside down car glitch. Sometimes when approaching this bridge on the mainland, for some reason a car could spawn upside down. It will remain there until you shoot at it. The other one is the invisible Vic glitch. What you do is get yourself a bike, change the camera to the dashboard one, look left or right and Vic will be gone. Nobody's holding the handles, and if you fire a gun you'll see bullets but the weapon won't be there. This does not work with all bikes, but on some it looks hilarious. Number 2. Vice City Stories is a console exclusive game and has always been one. Not even mobile players have gotten their hands on the official release. There are ways of playing it on PC, however. One method which also works on mobile is to emulate it. For the PSP version I suggest PPSSPP. A tutorial on how to configure it with the best settings will be in the description. For the PS2 version you can use PCSX2. Both are great options, but there is more. There's actually a mod for San Andreas, which basically turns the game into VCS. The characters, missions, map, icons, music and everything else is changed. Sure, it's not perfect or even finished, but at least you can now play the game in 4K resolution and 144 FPS. Often people tell me that the game is out for PC, but no, guys, this is what you're referring to, just a mod, not the complete game. VCS would never be ported to PC. Prove me wrong, Rockstar. Please. Number 1. Mission duping. Like some other GTA games, you can dupe missions in VCS too, although it's a bit different here. In order to dupe a mission, you need to activate something called On Mission 0. The basic gist of it is that the game thinks that you are not on a mission while you are on a mission. The easiest method of doing it is to start Vigilante in a police vehicle. Exit the vehicle and stand where a rampage icon spawns. Before the vigilante time expires, simply cancel the side mission. As you see now, you have a rampage timer, but mission icons are also on the map, something usually impossible. To dupe a mission like cleaning house for instance, simply start it. Stand where the marker shows up, wait for the timer to run out, and you failed the mission. Now you started a second instance of cleaning house. Go to the next marker and you'll see two sets of everything. Vehicles spawn twice, enemies too, and now you can complete the mission normally. How is this useful? Well, if you don't like a particular mission, you can dupe the one before it and the mission in question won't even show up. Practically you can complete two missions at once, so you skip the annoying ones. I hope that made sense. You really need to do some testing yourselves to really understand it. Good luck! And those were the 10 most unknown secrets in GTA Vice City Stories. Again, if you knew them all, leave a dislike, I won't be mad. But if I taught you something new, then the like button is right here too. Do you know more secrets? Then share them in the comment section and I might include them in the next video. A special thank you to my two lovely Patreon supporters, Alex Chavez and Max Robinson. You guys are awesome and thank you for watching.